Hello, I'm Matt and welcome to Badger Workshop. While I was picking up my scaffold board the other week to make that tool tote, I actually ended up buying two boards. And this one I want to use to have a bit of an experiment with. I've seen the waterfall tables and I quite like the idea of table legs just bending round. But I thought I'd have a go on something smaller and cheaper first, and that would just be a dog feeding station. A piece cut to length, I can run it through the thicknesser just to clean it up. The scaffold boards are pretty rough. Seen waterfall tables done, they tend to cut a 45-degree angle and then flip the saw over and cut another one, so that when the boards go together the grain pattern is the same. I'm just going to cut one 45-degree, and that means the board will have to be flipped around the other way to fit. But I don't think you'll really notice, because the grain pattern on a scaffold board is not that beautiful, and it means you waste less material. Got a couple of basic stainless steel bowls to set into this, so I mark out a centre line and then the middle of where each bowl is going to go. Back to using my high-tech circle drawing jig, a stick with a hole and a nail just to draw out where the hole for the bowl needs to go. Now using a router and a jig would make a very nice clean cut and a perfect circle. But as the bowl is going to go in it and you're never really going to see it, I'm just going to cut it out with the jigsaw. I drilled a few holes around first, well, the initial one to get the blade through, and then a few others just to make it easier. It's not a too shabby cut for an aggressive blade in the jigsaw, but I took it to the drill press with a drum sanding attachment to clean it all up. To attach the legs to the top, I'm going to use my Triton dual dowler. I set the fence to 45 degrees on the dowel joiner, and then I can plunge it in. I've seen similar things done with a Festool domino, or you could use a doweling jig, or you could screw it together and plug the holes. So this is where I get to use my clamps that I made last week. First kind of just hold them up to the workpiece and work out if that positioning is going to work, and then they can be clamped in place. I get a clamp on both sides of both pieces, and I have to do one leg at a time as I only made 4 of the clamps, and then when I'm all set up I can start getting some glue on. Dowel should add quite a bit of strength to this, but they're also going to really help with alignment and stop the joint slipping when I clamp it up. So now everything's ready, it's time to see if all my measurements and workings out actually worked and this is actually going to go together at a 45-degree angle. I can get the clamps on the blocks I've made, and this helps pull the joint together. I got a square on and checked it, and it was all pretty good. So when this had dried, I went on and did the second leg. Make sure both the legs were the same height. I ran it through the table saw, down both sides, and then it sat down on the bench perfectly. I gave everything a sand down, moving up the grits, and then it was a time to apply some finish to it. Going for a finish I see the Americans using a lot, and that's mineral oil. It's food safe, so if the dogs decide to lick it, it's fine, but I can also use it on chopping boards in the future. I'm not saying it makes the colour of the wood look great, but it's hard to do much with a scaffold board. One last step is just to add some rubber feet to the base, so if this goes on a kitchen tiled floor it won't get pushed around too much. And that's it all done, ready for some hot and thirsty dogs. A watering can definitely wasn't the smartest move to fill this up. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe for more videos.